Gotta be honest, I am not sure how the Sens won this one tonight. I am a little bit surprised. Thursday, October 16th, the Senators played their fifth game of the regular season against the Seattle Kraken. It was a home game, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern start time. It was Linus Ullmark starting for Ottawa. It was Philip Grubauer starting for Seattle. So Ottawa was 1-3 coming into today, and the Kraken were 2-0-1 coming into today. So the biggest news as far as lineup notes go, Brady Tkachuk did have surgery on his thumb today, and he's going to be out for at least 6 to 8 weeks. So they said it would be at least a month, and it looks like it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks. So it could be a couple months, or maybe even longer if there's setbacks or something. But yeah, definitely not good news if you're a Sens fan. Obviously, that sucks a lot. I mean, you can't replace what he does. He just can't. So yeah, just gonna pray for a speedy recovery, and hopefully he gets back as soon as possible because they could absolutely use him. Also, Arthur Kaliev made his Sens debut tonight, and I thought he looked pretty decent. So yeah, like I said, gotta be honest, I'm a little bit surprised the Sens won this one because, yeah, just, I don't know. I kind of feel like they didn't really deserve it, to be honest, but let's just go ahead and break down the game, shall we? Alright, let's go ahead and break down this game. First things first, it feels good to do a review where the Sens win. I haven't done that since the first game of the season, so it feels good to have a win finally. So the Ottawa Senators beat Seattle by a score of 4-3 in a shootout. So it was the first shootout of the season for Ottawa. It was the third, if I remember correctly, I think they said it's the third straight overtime game for Seattle, so that's kind of a crazy stat. All but one of their game have gone to overtime, which is insane. So let's go ahead and run through the shots, the stats, and the shots. So the shots, 33 to 24 in favor of Seattle, and I gotta be honest, the quality of shots that they gave up, the Sens, man oh man. Like, well, I'll get into that once I go through my notes, but holy cow, this Seattle could have had like 6 or 7 goals, man. I'm not even kidding. Face-off percentage, once again, Ottawa dominating the face-off dot yet again. 54.2% for Ottawa compared to 45.8% for Seattle. Power plays, I mean, it's a guarantee. Like, if Ottawa is shorthanded at least once, they're probably going to give up a power play goal. So, power plays were 1 for 3 for Seattle and 1 for 2 for Ottawa. So, they did pop one in there. Not too many penalties tonight. Penalties were just 6 to 4 in favor of Seattle having the fewest. Hits were 27 to 19 in favor of Seattle. Block shots 21-19, also in favor of Seattle. Giveaways were close, 17-16, with Ottawa having the fewest. Takeaways were 7 to 4 in favor of Seattle, and yeah. So their next meeting is going to be on March 7th in Seattle. That is the second and final meeting of the year between these two teams. So yeah, like it feels good to get a win. Finally, this is a huge win. I know it might sound weird, we're only 5 games into the season, but this was a big win for Ottawa, especially after what happened last night against Buffalo. We don't talk about that game. Let's just throw that in the garbage. Like, just we don't talk about that game, but they had to win this one, man. Like, if they don't win this one, you're looking at 1-4. Yeah, this was a big win for sure. So we're going to go ahead and break down the game here. Now, currently at the time I'm recording this video, the NHL site is not working. I can't see the scores. So I'm actually going to be using my phone for some of the notes. So that's going to be a little bit of an adjustment there. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll like it better. Who knows? But yes, so let's go ahead and break down the game here. So, first period, Shabbat got hit into the boards early by Lindgren. He got up slowly, but he did stay in the game, but it did not look good. I'm just thinking, oh, here we go again. This team is hexed. It didn't look good at first, but he would stay in the game, so he's okay as far as I know. Hopefully we don't get any bad news tomorrow or anything, but yeah, he stayed in the game. So the first shot comes 4:57 into the period for Seattle. So it took them about 5 minutes to get their first shot. So the shot was saved, and they got two cracks at a rebound. So shot was saved, got a rebound, that was saved, and then the second rebound, Seattle scores. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go again, right? So that is now 5 games in a row to start the season where Ottawa has given up the first goal. The Sens have not scored first so far this season. That is a big problem. So that goal coming at the 4:57 mark of the first period. Shane Wright getting this one. The assists go to Brandon Montour and Mason Marchment. And yeah, it was just, it looked bad. Like, again, he got 2 rebounds, and they would score on their first, basically the first thing that Seattle did the whole period, and they would score. So Seattle would take a slashing penalty. They killed that off. Just can't get shots. The Sens cannot get shots on the power play tonight, at least early on. Giroux was in the slot and he passed it off, and the shot was blocked. But then that shot was blocked and it bounces to Pinto and he buries it. It was even strength. This was after the power play ended. So Shane Pinto scoring yet again his league leading, I believe, 6th goal of the season. Pinto is off to a phenomenal start. So Shane Pinto getting that goal from Lars Eller and Claude Giroux at the 7:42 mark of the first period. And we're all tied up. So it's looking pretty good. This is a very, very even first period. So Seattle would take another penalty and Ottawa would have an early goal post. So there was a cross-ice pass. It was deflected, and it got deflected, but it still made it to David Perron, and he would end up scoring on the power play. So David Perron scoring at the 9:35 mark of the first period. Claude Giroux and Thomas Chabot getting the assist there. So the Sens take a 2-1 lead. So it kind of it kind of felt like last night a little bit at this point. The Sens were up 2-1 last night as well. So I'm like, yep, okay, we've been here before, done that. So yeah, Sens would go up 2-1 on a power play goal from Perron. Stützle got hit from behind into the boards, and I don't know how there was not a penalty on that. It looked similar to the Tkachuk hit that injured him. So obviously, as a Sens fan, you're a little bit sensitive to that kind of stuff. But yeah, there was no call on that hit. I think there should have been, but there wasn't. Stützle was okay though; he stayed in the game. So yeah, again, fairly even period. The shots were 8-7 Ottawa after the first, and they went into the second period with a lead. It's very unusual, I know. It felt kind of nice to have a lead for once going into the second period. So we roll into the second period. So puck came loose to Cousins on a play, and he hit the post. And there was just really, really sloppy defending by Ottawa. The puck is turned over, and it got centered, and Seattle would score, but this was kind of a weird goal too. So it hits the crossbar, bounces down, hits the ice, goes off the back of Ullmark, and in. Where have we seen that before, right? So that's back-to-back games now where a puck has gone in off the back of the goalie. So again, I'm having those thoughts of, okay, this team is hexed. So that would tie the game at 2. That goal coming at the 4:40 mark of the second period by Chandler Stevenson. The assist went to Jaden Schwartz, so we're tied at 2. But again, still feeling kind of okay, right? It's a tie game. You know, we're feeling okay. There was a really, in my opinion, just a kind of a lazy penalty by Tyler Clevin, holding penalty, just not moving his feet. He was just not moving his feet at all. He held up the Seattle player. And this here, I have no clue how Seattle does not score on this power play. There was a post wide open. There were great chances for Seattle everywhere, and they somehow did not score. The Sens killed that off, but barely. I don't know how they did. Seattle could have easily had a 3-2 lead at that point, but somehow they killed it. I don't know how. So Seattle, it kind of felt like Seattle was taking over a little bit. And again, to this point, we're about halfway through the second period. It felt so similar to the game last night. Ottawa's up 2-1 in the second period, and Buffalo kind of took over in the second period last night. And it kind of felt like that again here tonight. So But it was a little bit different though, so it felt like Seattle was taking over a little bit after that power play. But then the Sens, they kind of started taking over as well, and there was a little bit of back and forth, honestly, between the two teams. So really, it was like Seattle's turn to take over, then Ottawa, then Seattle. They just kind of went back and forth, and the Sens just again, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this during the season, but again, having issues clearing the puck. So Seattle ended up they hit a goal post. There was an odd man rush for Seattle as well. There was a big glove save for Allmark. He had a few big saves tonight, and he ended up being one of the stars as well. Spoiler alert. But yeah, he had some big saves, and Seattle, I don't know how this game is tied 2-2. I have no idea, to tell you the truth. So, there was also a big hit by Clevin on Gaudreau. He got up slowly. He went off. I think he came back later on in the game. I think. I might be wrong about that. But, again, so we come to the end of the second period, and it's still a pretty even game. This game ended up being pretty even in general, but shots were 19-16 Seattle after the second period, but still pretty even, right? We're 2-2 going into the second intermission, so I'm feeling pretty good at this point. So we go into the third period, and just about 5 seconds into the third period, Vince Dunn takes a puck off his face, and that looked scary. But he did get up. He got off the ice on his own, and I don't know exactly where the puck hit him, but he did end up returning to the game, which was a good sign. That was a very scary incident for sure. So yeah, very good to see him return to the ice for sure. So there was a penalty by Ottawa, and Seattle would score on the power play. I'm like, yep, okay, like, here we go again, right? I mean, it's Ottawa's penalty kill, man. The penalty kill is so bad. We know this. We've been here, done that. So Seattle would score on the power play early into the third period. This was scored at 2:15 of the third period by Chandler Stevenson. The assist going to Jordan Eberle and Brandon Montour. So that made it 3-2 Seattle, and I'm just thinking, yep, here we go again. It's going to be like last night. Because the Sens in the third period, they looked exhausted. Like listen, I don't know if it's the back-to-back nights. I'm sure it does have some kind of effect on it, but man, they looked exhausted in the third period. Like I thought for sure it was going to get out of hand. And it kind of did, except not on the scoreboard. So Ottawa would not get their first shot of the third period until about 5 minutes in. Like it was not good. They just didn't look good. They looked so tired. There was a tripping penalty by Shabbat. Ottawa would kill that. There was another big glove save on Stevenson by Allmark, and somehow I don't even know. I couldn't keep track of all the chances. Like Seattle does not score out of all of that. Like there were wide open nets. There were like Allmark was down for some of these. I don't know. Seattle couldn't score out of all of that, whatever the heck it was. Like I couldn't even keep track of all of it. There were just chances everywhere, and somehow they didn't score. So to this point, it still stayed 3-2 Seattle. So it just didn't look good. I mean, I have no clue how it was still 3-2 Seattle at that point. So Ottawa has just two shots 13 minutes into the third period when they are down by one goal. It didn't look good at all. Like I said, they looked exhausted. So with about less than 2 minutes left, Dylan Cousins would wire one past Grubauer for to make the game tied at 3-3. So initially at real time, I'm thinking that's kind of a bad goal. How the heck does that go in? But then on the replay, you can see that Grubauer's defender, he actually screened him a little bit. I don't think he saw the shot. So yeah, Dylan Cousins would end up tying the game at the 18-14 mark of the third period. And Drake Batherson and Jordan Spence getting the assist on that. Spence is off to a really good start. I am liking him so far. But yeah, that tied the game at 3 with less than 2 minutes. I couldn't believe it. There's no way. Now, when they tied it, I'm thinking, that I know I'm negative. I tend to be very hard on this team, but I'm just thinking, okay, they're gonna find a way to blow this. They're gonna find a way to not get a point. They're gonna lose in regulation or something. That's just the negative part of me thinking that. But no, we do end up going to overtime, and so Seattle, like I mentioned earlier, this is Seattle's third straight overtime game apparently, if I heard that correctly, which is kind of crazy. Um, so Ottawa controlled at the start. They had some pretty good chances. Shabbat ended up losing his stick, so he was skating around with no stick, and Seattle couldn't score. Like I don't know how Seattle dominated the overtime. Like I'm looking at the shots right now for overtime. They were 5-1 for Seattle in overtime. It felt worse, but Seattle just they held the puck. I don't know how long they held on to the puck at the end of overtime there. I think they said it was like 2 minutes, but it felt like longer. It was really bad. Like again, no idea how Seattle couldn't score. And then in the dying seconds of overtime, there was a 2-on-1 for the Sens, and Sanderson ends up hitting the post. I think it would have counted. I think there might have been like a second left if that went in, but it hit the post. So it's, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like, whatever, because I feel like the Sens just didn't deserve to win this, to be honest. But, yeah, I mean, we're going to a shootout. So this is the Sens' first shootout of the season. Seattle, not too sure. I don't have the stat for that. So we go to a shootout, and Drake Batherson shoots first, and he missed the net. Right idea. It was a good move, just he missed the net. So first shooter for Seattle was Jordan Eberle. He was stopped by Ullmark. And then next shooter, second shooter for Ottawa was Tim Stützle, and he would score 5-hole. I thought for sure he was skating way too slow. I'm just like, no, there's no way you're going way too slow. But nope, he found a hole though. And second shooter for Seattle was Jared McCann. He was stopped. So now the third shooter for Ottawa is Shane Pinto, of all people, with a chance to win it. And he does. He's Shane Pinto scoring the shootout winner. And I don't know, man. Like you look at the stats, I guess it does look kind of even, but just the quality of chances that Seattle had, I don't know, man. I think the Sens might have got away with one a little bit here, but hey, a win is a win. They don't ask how, they just ask how many, right? So yeah, just feels good to finally do a review on a win for once. So the 3 stars of the game, again, I'm using my phone. For all this stuff, so it's a little bit different for me. So the 3 stars of the game, first star of the game was Shane Pinto. He had a goal and also the shootout winner. Second star of the game was Linus Ullmark. He had a .909 save percentage. And the third star of the game was Chandler Stevenson. He had 2 goals. So yeah, let's go ahead and run through some of the stats here for the Sens. So our goal scorers were Pinto, Cousins, Perron, and Pinto, of course, with the overtime winner, or the shootout winner, I should say. And the assists, we got Shabbat, Spence, Eller, and Batherson all with 1, and Giroux had 2 assists. So good to see Giroux with a couple of points there. Tim Stützle had a lot of ice time. I actually had to do a double take here. 24:37 at ice time for Stützle. That's a lot, and that's the most for all forwards by quite a bit. Looks like the next highest here is Pinto at 19:36, so that's a big difference. But of course, leading in ice time once again was Jake Sanderson with 26:52 ice time. Sanderson is just an absolute beast. So looking at some of the stats here, Shabbat had 5 block shots. It looks like that led the team. Yes, it did. Hits, I got Michael Amadio with 3 hits, which led the forwards. Led all players, actually, 3 hits. And, yeah, so Ullmark ends up stopping 30 out of 33 for the .909 save percentage. he ended up having a pretty good game. I mean, he looked a little shaky at the start there with the goals going in early. I mean, the first shot of the game led to the first goal of the game for Seattle. So I'm like, okay, I mean, it didn't start great for Allmark, but it ended up being pretty good in the end. So yeah, this was big win. It's a big win for sure. So um, I know again it might sound crazy to say like it's a must win for Ottawa in October, but we're 5 games into the season. But again, if you don't win this game, you're looking at a 1-4 start and what 0-2 on home ice, right? By the way, those red jerseys, those new jerseys they have, I love them. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of them based off what I heard. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a Sens fan, but I love those new jerseys. And speaking of jerseys, I am wearing the reverse retro. So this jersey is now 1-1. So you know the drill. Like I said before, if I wear a jersey, the Sens win. I will wear it again for the next game. So that next game is coming on. Actually, that should say Saturday, and I just realized it says New York Islanders, but yeah, that's gonna be Saturday, October 18th at 3 p.m. How the heck did I just notice that? Whatever, whatever. Yes, the New York Islander, just one single Islander. Maybe I'll go ahead and fix that in the editing if I can think of it, but yeah, the next game is on Saturday, October 18th, not Thursday, October 18th. Today is Thursday, October 16th, so yeah, I forgot to update that. Such a professional, right? But no, it just feels good. Like I said, it feels good to finally get a win, and hopefully this is the start of them digging themselves out of this little hole here. So the Islanders, I know going into tonight they did not have a win. I think they might have been ahead in the game tonight. I'm not sure, but um, yeah, it's a big win. Like I said, I don't know if they completely deserve the win to be honest, but like I said earlier, they don't ask how many, they don't ask how, they ask how many, right? So a win is a win, 4-3 shootout victory against the Seattle Kraken, and these two teams meet again on March 7th, so not for quite a while. But yeah, that is pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and go Sens go.